In December 2019, shocking footage was coming out of Wuhan, China that showed people starting to get violently sick and die from a viral pneumonia. Some people thought the apocalypse was near and started hoarding up all the toilet paper, while others brushed it off, claiming, "You just have to treat it like the flu."
I really think, doctor, you want to treat this like you treat the flu, right?
Businesses cautiously continued like normal, and people were still kind of going about their normal day-to-day activities like work, games, concerts, vacations, and political rallies as the virus ravaged through parts of China, northern Italy, and Iran.
عاجزانه از مردم می‌خوایم سفرها رو به حداقل برسونن، تماس‌ها با یکدیگر رو به حداقل برسونن و جداسازی بیماران رو هم کامل انجام بدن.
The first confirmed case in the United States came in mid-January in Washington State, where a man in his 30s developed symptoms after returning from a trip to Wuhan. The Trump administration moved to restrict all travel from China the following week, and later restricted travel from Europe. Since then, more than 1 million people have contracted the virus in the United States. An estimated 60,000 have died so far from COVID-19. With no vaccine, the only way to combat the spread of the virus is to socially distance. And for that to work, all non-essential people, basically anyone who isn't providing a need, has to stay home. This means most businesses like retail stores, coffee shops, and grocery stores had to close or shorten their hours and only allow an unlimited amount of people. Restaurants can only operate drive-through and delivery service, and the economy as a whole has come to a grinding stop. Seattle was the first major city in America to feel the impacts of the coronavirus outbreak. It's one of the fastest growing cities in America. It's in the middle of an economic boom. New buildings are constantly going up. A lot of big and well-known companies were found here, like Starbucks, Microsoft, and Amazon. The unemployment rate here before coronavirus was 2%, one of the lowest in the country, and it seemed like there was always new jobs available. But what seemed like in a matter of days, everything went south. Downtown Seattle accounts for nearly half of Seattle's entire economic activity, and when Governor Jay Inslee announced the stay-at-home order on March 24th, the entire area pretty much turned to a ghost town. So we're driving towards downtown right now. Traffic in Seattle was notoriously bad. Even though this is the 18th biggest city in America, Seattle always routinely ranks in the top 5 cities with the worst traffic. But as you can see, it's pretty light right now. Traffic has dropped 53% since the stay-at-home order started. Seattle's a city that's dependent on tourism. The flights, and especially the cruises that come during the spring and summer, pour thousands of tourists onto the streets that sleep at the many hotels that popped up in recent years and eat at many of Seattle's most popular restaurants. 40 million people visited Seattle last year, injecting close to $7.5 billion into the local economy. Seattle is a very popular city for international tourists too, especially one from China. In 2019, 176,000 Chinese tourists visited Seattle, spending $220 million. But with lockdowns, grounded flights, and the probable inevitable collapse of the cruising industry, a lot of businesses here are bleeding cash. With no one around to spend money, the profit that they make is simply not enough to continue operations. Some businesses laid off some of their staff and tried to adjust to the new normal, while others laid off all their staff and shut down entirely. This is Pike's Place Market. It's usually the first stop in every tourist's itinerary when they visit Seattle. Usually it's buzzing with activity, with people exploring the market and taking selfies and stuff. But it's pretty dead right now. The only people who are here are the employees who work here and a few people who live nearby. Seattle workers are some of the highest paid workers in the US. That means cost of living here is pretty high. Average rent can cost up to $2,200 a month. A survey showed that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And for a city that's as expensive as Seattle, that number can only be higher. Latest numbers show that 605,000 people filed for unemployment benefits. Washington State unemployment benefits is the second highest in the country. It tops out at $749 a week, but most people don't get approved for an amount that high. On March 25th, the Senate passed the CARE Act, a $2 trillion stimulus package, which is supposed to prop up the economy while also helping American workers and families. In that package, every American who filed a tax return will get $1,200 a month and an additional $500 for every child. Unemployment benefits was given a big boost, with everyone that has been laid off getting an extra $600 a week. With the coronavirus still spreading and a lack of a vaccine, it seems like the stay-at-home order will continue for the foreseeable future.